My Hindu Friend is a 2015 drama starring Willem Dafoe, directed by Hector Babenko.
When I left home on a cargo ship for Europe, I wanted to be a film director. I came to Brazil, and I met my wife, and everything changed. I started making movies until an illness stopped me. It's not over yet.
The best thing medicine can offer you is a bone marrow transplant.
If one of us had to die, I'd rather it were me, not you.
I want to stay alive.
It's for you. Are you going to die?
What's your name?
Stop it.
He looks up and he sees a frightening man with a mustache who says, "What do you want, little boy?"
Wake up, you silly old man.
Mind if I smoke?
Who are you?
I came to take you.
Would it be too much to ask you to fetch me some other time? I still want to make one more film.
What film is that?
If I don't turn you on anymore, then that's your problem.
You want to leave me?
I don't want your illness anymore, your smell of medication. I want my life back.
The play's main character was my age and was saying goodbye to his mother and sister through a window. My Hindu friend. How are you?
Those who still have a dream to fulfill have a better chance of survival.
Never forgot your stories.
All right, welcome to a Film Hooligans review. I'm your host, Jon Dunning, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Jason Alt.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back.
We got to review a film from the last film right before he passed away. And I mean, this is kind of a special thing. Was the movie special? More on that later. But it's not every day you get to review a film from the same person that directed like classics like
Pixote.
Yeah.
And Kirandiru and Kiss of the Spider-Woman. Are those the films to which you're referring?
Those are the films in which I'm referring. And this was kind of more of his biopic, like Willem Dafoe's character. He also was a cancer survivor when it looked real bleak, and then he did the whole bone transfer or bone marrow transfer surgery, and so he did. Like I said, he did just pass away. I think it was literally right after this film. I think it was 2016.
That's not a spoiler for the movie.
Right. It's actually not. Just talking about this film in particular, Jason, how did you feel about My Hindu Friend?
I don't know why it was called My Hindu Friend. I mean, I know why it was called My Hindu Friend, but I don't know why it was called My Hindu Friend. Sure. When you see the movie, you're going to be like, oh, it's from that. But then if you think about it a little more, you'd be like, but why? So it's a pretty touching semi-autobiographical film about a deeply flawed and unlikable character. He meets some people on his journey to cancer survival, and he touches some other people's lives and circles a wagon, finds out who his real friends are, and it's just a movie about the process of being creative, like being a creative, I guess, like while dealing with all of this distraction too, and the importance of family, but also the family you choose. So. This was very watchable. I would recommend it.
Yeah, it was definitely how this film is shot. I was just like, this was definitely meant, but because I had no context before I watched it, so I didn't even know it was it was in a very, capable hands of someone that directed some, real classics. And, it starts off kind of shaky, and I'm just like, it felt like they blew the entire budget on acquiring Willem Dafoe. Like, it was really important for them to get him, and rightfully so, because he has to do so much of the heavy lifting. And if you're going to cast a actor at that caliber, you better use him. And I mean, he puts on a clinic. Absolutely. It's just like, I don't even know, like, with the script isn't even like great, but he elevates every single line, and he even elevates the interactions around him with just like the performance he puts in. Like you said, he did a lot of the heavy lifting. There were some other people that have acted, before in the film, but he's the name attached to the movie, and I think he was the reason it got made. Yeah, and this was kind of a big deal because, like I said, it did get made a couple years ago, but the rights just went over to Rock Salt Distribution, I think a subsidiary of Tri-Coast, and they did it right. Once they obtained the rights to this film, they kind of re-released it as a celebration of life for Hector, and they even did like I think it was like a week or 2 week long mild theatrical release, because they wanted people to see it. This is just on face value, just for the fact that this is the kind of the biopic of this very influential director, this foreign director. It was a big deal, and they did it really well as far as maintain or getting the rights and sharing it to a broader audience. You could tell that someone at the studio really had an affection for the source material. Just talking about the movie in general, it definitely goes places where I did not expect. I mean, it doesn't shy away from anything, and I think this is one of its strengths. You see cancer at its absolute worst, and some movies do that, and that's not new. But you also have it's like Jason said, it's not a very likable character. This person, Diego Fairman, who's also plays a director. But I mean, you get full frontal nudity. It just kind of shows the ugliness of cancer and the effect it has on everybody, not just the person with cancer, but everyone around them. It is streaming on all platforms. If you are a fan of great performances, like especially from Willem Dafoe, this is coming right off of watching like The Lighthouse, and I think that this, is this movie The Lighthouse? No, but is the performance level, like, that's the magical thing about Willem Dafoe, is you're gonna get 1,000% effort no matter what he's in, and I just really appreciate that. Well, he does a lot of stuff you aren't even really necessarily aware that he did. He does like blockbusters and stuff like that, but then you're on Netflix and you're like, The Hunter, what is that? No, I've never heard of that. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, that was really enjoyable. Mm-hmm. So this is just one of those movies Dafoe just kind of farts out because he makes, 5, 6, 7 movies a year, and like maybe 2 of them are major, like Grand Budapest Hotel type movies, and then the rest of them are sort of, on the sly. And this is a movie that, people didn't necessarily see. It grossed like $100,000 worldwide, but I think more people should see it, and I'm glad it's been re-released. A film for the sharps, right? It's like if you're really into the filmmaking aspect, if you're into the festival scene, then this is probably one for you. It's not one that you're going to put on Thanksgiving for grandma, but if you want to see a very touching yet, heart-wrenching and oftentimes sickening portrayal of what this disease can do to a person and its family, then this is something you should definitely check out. So we want to thank you for joining us on this quick review on Film Hooligans. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, you can find us on film_hooligans. You can find me personally at OrzovDunn on Twitter. Jason, where can everyone find you? I'm at Jason E. Alt on Twitter, and check my pin post for all the other projects I work on. Perfect. And once again, I want to thank Tri-Coast Entertainment for letting us check this one out, and we will see you next time.